The FBI says people need to be on the lookout for threatening emails and that these emails are coming from overseas. The feds are issuing a warning to Iran and Russia, publicly accusing them of interfering with the presidential election. The FBI says Iran is spreading misinformation by posing as the far-right group the Proud Boys, sending intimidating emails to voters telling them to vote for President Trump or else. If you receive an email like this, it's important to not engage and, more importantly, do not forward it to anybody else. Lisa Greshey, WBZ This Morning.
President Trump and Joe Biden will face off tonight in their final debate, and there are new rules in place to cut down on the number of interruptions. The debate will be broken down into 15-minute segments. At the beginning of each segment, the candidates' microphones will be muted for 2 minutes while the other is speaking. After that 2-minute mark, both mics will be turned on for open discussion.
Former President Barack Obama holding his first in-person event for Joe Biden. Obama hosted a drive-in rally near Philadelphia last night. He criticized the Trump administration's response to the pandemic and took aim at the president's use of Twitter, saying he repeatedly supports conspiracy theories. Biden has been off the campaign trail so he can prepare for tonight's debate.
The Senate Judiciary Committee is set to meet today to recommend Amy Coney Barrett's Supreme Court nomination to the full Senate. Democrats on the panel plan to boycott the vote, but that is not expected to derail it. Republican leaders in the Senate are planning a rare weekend session with the goal of confirming Barrett Monday.
Democrats blocking a proposed $500 billion coronavirus stimulus bill in the Senate. Republicans need 60 votes to move it forward, but it failed yesterday. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is still involved with negotiations with Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin for a $2 trillion relief package, but Senate Republicans don't say they'll support it.
A new tool to help track coronavirus outbreaks. Researchers say they're now using Google to predict new hotspots. The study by the Mayo Clinic found that looking at internet searches for COVID-19 symptoms can help identify outbreaks before the first case is even reported.
Breaking overnight, the Boston School Committee voting unanimously to cancel this year's admissions test for the city's 3 exam schools because of the pandemic. The vote came just before 2 o'clock this morning after hours of testimony over the controversial move. Instead of the test, admission and eligibility for next year will be decided based on your grades, MCAS scores, and zip codes.
Desks about to sit empty in classrooms throughout Boston public schools. Effective today, BPS suspending all in-person learning, switching to fully remote in response to a citywide spike in COVID cases. The move applauded by Boston Teachers Union. Some parents of high-needs students calling it shameful that it's come to this. And coming up, we can tell you that Mayor Walsh did mention the schools can go back to a hybrid model after the city sees 2 weeks of decreasing case numbers. If those numbers keep rising, though, he says there could be additional restrictions for industries like restaurants and hair salons. Live in Boston, Nick Giovanni, WBZ This Morning.
The Patriots back on the practice field trying to get healthy. They got 6 players back yesterday, including center David Andrews and offensive line